I'm rather disappointed in myself that I didn't take the opportunity in time to make a video expressing my complete and utter delight at the triumphant return of the Sega Genesis, though in this case the actual Mega Drive, where I shoot a proverbial Chaos Emerald infused questionable Sonic's golden cock ring load about this making a comeback. And we can all thank the success to the NES Mini, and we already know that, but we're getting an actual officially licensed, as close to the original hardware as humanly possible system that can actually play the real cartridges. Now, that's a big deal. The shit's already got games preloaded onto it, and apparently you can play ROMs off of it, so that's an even bigger deal. Though the fact that it doesn't support HDMI and is only composite has me kind of worried, and I sure as fuck hope they get the sound right, because it seems like all the plug-and-play related Sega systems out there, they have the worst sound ever. And that's unacceptable. I personally think the Sega Genesis has one of the most unique sounds of all the systems from way back in the day before everything became CD-based. So I love that shit, and it's very easy to hear. Because, I mean, the minute that you hear Streets of Rage music, yeah, if that shit isn't on point, I'll shut that right the fuck off. So, Tectoy, they're putting out the system, but what they had talked about just recently at Comic-Con in Brazil, because the CEO of Tectoy had went on stage and said that they're actually going to be making brand new Mega Drive games. So, these are officially licensed Mega Drive games, and for anybody out there that knows about all this shit and is real big into retro gaming, you probably already know, but for those that don't, Tectoy is responsible for putting out Mega Drive games and Master System games. And I'm talking a lot of the most sought-after Master System games. We're talking about well into the 2000s. They were still making Master System games over there. That's a huge ass deal. I mean, overseas, like, I know that there are certain parts of the world where the Master System reigned supreme. This was king shit. The idea that it had such a long lifespan, to me, is impressive, because I always thought that the PlayStation brands lasting 10 years pretty much on every single generation was something that should be applauded, but the fucking Master System is just like, oh, foo 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 foo, oh goodness me, just 10 years, and the Master System has been going strong, but brand new games. Now, Tectoy, while they're putting this system out, this is supposed to be a limited edition system. They haven't said how many that they're making, we don't know the release date of it, but we know that it's going to be happening. Now, they've also re-released a Master System, though it doesn't look anything like the Master System from overseas, let alone the version that we got over here. And I'm wondering, are they going to be re-releasing a Master System with a cartridge slot that's going to allow games on to, because that'd be kind of interesting, let alone brand new games. But, I mean, lately, the Master System has caught on a whole lot more. I mean, there's a lot of folks out there who got to figure it out just because of Nintendo's Virtual Console series of games that have been released. I'm just like, that's fucking awesome, because you're introducing this to an entire audience that wasn't aware of it, and for those out there that were fortunate enough and lucky enough to grow up with like a Master System or TurboGrafx instead of an NES, you know about the greatness in both of those respective systems. But the Master System, I didn't get to find out until like well past my teens, and that shit was dried up and gone. I had never seen it in a fucking store, and if I did, I pretty much didn't even fucking think that it existed, because I was too busy being enamored with like Super Nintendo and NES games to ever give a shit. And that's really the truth, because, I mean, it was all NES up until PlayStation, and then I was just like, oh my god, they're fucking 32-bit greatness. Well, then again, no, I also had like a bunch of Sega shit. It doesn't matter. Still, brand new cartridges. I don't know what all games are going to get, but I can safely assume that it's probably going to be a lot of Sega's actual games, because apparently the Sega CEO and Tectoy CEO were going to be meeting up and having a discussion about like 30th anniversary and a bunch of other shit, and having a whole lot of talks about what all they could be doing. I mean, when I'm thinking of all the Sega games that I think that they'd be smart to go and enlist for re-release and put this shit into production, I mean, I think of all the Shinobi games, Sonic the Hedgehog, Golden Axe, Streets of Rage, the Shining Force games, the Phantasy Star games. We need to have all that shit right there. I mean, that makes sense. Maybe some Gunstar Heroes, Dynamite Headdy, because I like going for obscure shit. Maybe some Kid Chameleon, that wouldn't be so bad. Some Afterburner. There's a bevy of titles out there, but naturally, they probably have to fix it and focus strictly on the games that performed well in those regions, because what did well here may not have performed all that well outside of the United States in general, but who the hell knows? The fact that we're getting brand new cartridges, though, this is going to be huge for the collector market, so you already know that the minute that this shit goes on sale, people are going to be importing it, flipping it immediately onto eBay, because that seems to happen with everything, so I'm hoping that the production isn't super limited. I'm hoping that there's at least a lot out there so that the genuine die-hard fans can go out there and get a brand new game. And here's something, if this does well, let's just assume that this does well, would this send some kind of a message to Nintendo to potentially do another NES Mini, but one that can take cartridges? Maybe remanufacture actual cartridges. I've discussed that a few times, that I think that they should do that, because I think they would do well, and that's really the truth. Nintendo has a die-hard fan base, and collectors around the world are willing to go and shell out whatever amount of cash to go and get stuff like that. But imagine if they did. Would it be kind of expensive? Yeah, it would be, to go and make all those chips again, but I'm sure that they're able to. We're talking about Nintendo. Nintendo's a huge-ass fucking company, and make no fucking mistake, they're actually smart. I know that business-wise, every so often, they kind of trip over themselves and do some shit that's kind of questionable, and you have to give them that sideways glance of, what the fuck are you doing, Nintendo? Are you off your meds? You can't possibly be this fucking stupid. But with some shit like this, if Tectoy is successful in re-releasing Mega Drive games, or new Master System games, or whatever fucking thing that they plan on doing, would Nintendo go and do that? I mean, I know that Konami's supposed to be in the works of making a new system. Could we see NEC out there going re-releasing the TurboGrafx? I wouldn't mind some shit like that, because, I mean, that would be kind of cool, except for that would be Konami re-releasing it. Is it going to be fucked up because Konami's actually doing that? And it's just fucking nightmare fuel. Will PlayStation re-release the actual PlayStation 1? And please, for the love of fucking God, if Sony ever does decide to re-release the PlayStation 1 because all this other shit's doing well, don't make it as limited as the anniversary version of the PlayStation 4, because that shit was gone within milliseconds, and again, was on eBay for thousands of dollars, and that shit still eats me up inside. I just wish they'd re-release it. Honest to fucking goodness, I already have a PS4, I'd go and buy that in a fucking heartbeat, just because that 32-bit beast is still my all-time favorite system, so I'd fucking love that. But the idea that these companies are now re-releasing hardware of their old school systems, why not try everything? If people are demanding it, fucking do it. You know, it's a business. Make money. Make fans happy. Makes tons of sense. Anyway, opinions, thoughts, feelings, new Mega Drive games are happening. I mean, we'll have case and manual and all that shit, like actual cartridges. We can go and blow into these bitches and jam them to the system, and it'll be fucking fantastic. And I know to a lot of kids out there that just seems like a preposterous notion, but fuck off. This shit's awesome. I'm being nostalgic. And then maybe it's member berries. I have no fucking clue. It doesn't matter. So, South Park, new season, fucking awesome. Anyway, this is AlphaOmegaSin, as always, nerds, nerdettes, and gamers game the fuck on.